Okay. Oh, thank you.
They still look like not everything's I've had it 3 years. I put like
My Air Max, got 190,000 miles on it, and every time I go there's two batteries.
I just put a
I know, it's okay. It's 6:30. I'd like to call this meeting of the Plain City Village Council to order. We are going to do something special this evening. We're about to do the Pledge of Allegiance, but we are going to remain standing for a moment of silence. One of our village staff members passed away on Friday, very, very suddenly, and we want to honor Mr. Dusty Stickles at this time after the Pledge of Allegiance for his dedication and service to Plain City. There's a lot of turmoil going around in this world right now that can make things really, really hard on anyone. And I guess this is a good reminder, just even if you see someone smiling and you see them and they act normal every day, just always check on your friends and your neighbors to really make sure you know what's happening. There's just a lot happening, and even leading up to this meeting, didn't really know words to say or how to convey things, but you can read things online, you can say things, and everybody is human, and we all make mistakes. And I hope that tonight's meeting can be a good reminder of how the community and the elected officials can come together to really make something special, keep something special here in Plain City. So just with that, now join me in the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silence. So I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Mr. Driver, would you call the roll? Here.
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 The agenda that is before, I'd like to amend it by adding December meeting dates to the discussion items. If anybody else had any amendments or additions, further additions to the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the amended agenda?
Motion to approve?
Is there a second?
Second. Yes.
Yeah.
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 And is there a motion to approve the council regular meeting minutes from November 10th, 2025?
So moved.
Second?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you very much. We have a special guest with us in the audience this evening. I would like to call Ms. Peyton Boyer to come join me up here. Peyton is a resident and fourth grader at Plain City Elementary. And I came across actually a message from the teachers at Plain City Elementary asking everyone to wear blue on a certain day. And that reason was to give awareness to type 1 diabetes. And that is something so you were able to talk about something that you deal with on a daily basis and educate your fellow classmates. And that might help someone else in the village and to better understand that it is not something, it's something that many people have and everything. So with that, it is my pleasure as Mayor of Village of Plain City to recognize Ms. Peyton Boyer for her effort and actions to raise awareness for type 1 diabetes. Ms. Boyer is a student at Plain City Elementary and has educated her fellow students about the effects and impact of type 1 diabetes. The Village of Plain City is privileged and grateful to have young community residents such as Ms. Peyton Boyer who desire to help those within the community and increase awareness about type 1 diabetes. On behalf of the Village of Plain City, thank you. Oh, we did a picture out. Yeah, out front, but thank you. So I know she just came from basketball practice, so I know you probably, you're more than welcome to stay, or you can, whatever you'd like to do, but stay for, you'd like to speak in the visitors, right? Yeah, so. So with that, we have a couple signed in for visitors this evening, and up first, oh, Mr. Tim. Tim M, but no, I will just, yes, Mr. Tim. Okay, Miss Seifert, yes, yes. Christy Seifert, yes, you may. And everybody gets 3 minutes, just in case there's always lots of people here, so.
No problem. Thank you. I'm addressing you tonight as chair of the Plain City Tree Commission. I do have Tim Miklashevitz with me to represent the Tree Commission. We met last Tuesday, and as a part of the discussion, we reviewed the current Main Street and Chillicothe project for the four-way stop. The Tree Commission's mission statement is to provide expertise, guidance, and recommendations to the city administration and residents for the protection of healthy trees and planting in the public right-of-ways. Therefore, we decided to present a formal statement tonight regarding the project, and I am here on behalf of the other members to read that statement to you. Short and sweet, just a couple lines. On November 18th, 2025, Tree Commission members met and reviewed the State Route 161, Chillicothe Street Intersection Improvement Plan, ODOT Plan ID 121878, that was presented to the public by the Village and ODOT on November 10th, 2025. In response to the plans, it's the opinion of all the Tree Commission members that ODOT and the Village of Plain City extend every effort possible to preserve, protect, and incorporate the existing spruce tree planted at Bicentennial Park into the intersection improvement plan designs. So Justin has a copy of this statement, and then I'll submit it through the ODOT portal as well that they've provided for this project. So thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Seifert. Okay, making sure no one else has signed in. Yes, you could, yes.
To kind of augment what Christy said, I'm Tim Miklashevitz. I'm also a member of the Tree Commission, and I'm not an arborist, but I do have a doctorate in entomology and worked for several decades with plants, and also spent about more than 15 years working for large nurseries, including the 5th largest nursery company in North America, advising customers, training staff about plants, plant health, insects. So just lend a little bit of expertise to the matter of whether the tree in Pastime Park is unhealthy. I read through the comments on the Facebook page, which suggested that it was on its way out, perhaps. People didn't like it. They thought it was unhealthy. I don't think that's particularly true. It could be better, but probably has a better life expectancy than most of the hundreds of trees that are being planted in compacted soil along the streets of Plain City, currently or over the next few years. So I'm opposed to Pastime Park. I'm opposed to Bicentennial Park being eliminated as proposed in the ODOT recommendations. Their claim is that this is being done for reasons of improving safety. Somewhere in the mix, there's a proposal that a spray pad be placed there. I don't see how a spray pad, inviting kids to play in water near busy streets doesn't seem like a good idea to me if you're trying to improve safety. So, but that's pretty much the statement I wanted to make, and supporting the other members of the tree commission. And we are encouraging people to plant more trees. We're encouraging people to try to preserve the trees that we already have. You have what is probably the most single recognizable tree in the entire village in Bicentennial Park. So I think we should make an effort to preserve that. So that's it.
Thank you for your comments. We're definitely, yes, make sure that everybody goes onto the link, submit all the comments, because then that is what is going to be taken into consideration and creating, and the splash pad isn't. That's,
No, they showed an image of a little fountain, but I think they meant more of a water feature. So I don't want that to be taken into.
yes. That's why I just wanted to clarify that. Definitely that would not make sense right there in that area for sure, but thank you. Moving into reports this evening. From our last council meeting, the next day we had the annual Veterans Day ceremony. I want to thank the Jonathan Alder High School Assistant Principal, Mr. Clark, for helping with the facilities, the high school band and choir for performing, Mr. Adam Heyman and Mrs. Julie Page from Plain City Elementary and Monroe Elementary for coordinating with the 4th grade staff and students, American Legion Post 248 for their part in the ceremony of the reason why we're there to honor veterans. Plain City chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution for providing refreshments for the veterans and their families, and the Village Parks and Rec Department for assisting with the programs. It truly takes a village to bring everyone together, and to honor our veterans is what we want to do. And I feel like, and I know everyone who attended the ceremony, it was definitely a time of honoring them. Later in the week, I worked with Mr. Evans to create a video highlighting ways we can give back this season. So as you came into the entryway, you can see 4 different containers. And so I know our next council meeting, we're going to be talking about that date, but if we can encourage our neighbors and everyone to donate socks for Carly's sock drive. She was a young lady who had passed away tragically in a car accident on Christmas Eve 5 years ago. Her family honors her every year by doing the sock drive. So donations are a little down across the board. So we need Santa for seniors, gift bags filled with 5 items that might be something for senior citizens to receive in a nursing home. So that's anything from candy, socks, blankets, chapstick, lotion, things like that. And then Santa Danny for dogs is one of our residents. He's been doing this for at least 4 or 5 years, but he collects dog toys to take to the local shelter dogs for Christmas, for the ones that aren't adopted. And he wasn't sure if he's going to do it this year, and talking with his mom, I said, oh yes, so we need to fill that container too. And then of course the Daily needs assistance with their Remembered Christmas, the toy drive. So Daily Needs does a great job with collecting the toys, but then allowing families to come in and have that like shopping experience. So it's not just they get a set amount, certain toys. The parents and family members can actually go shopping for their children and families. So just really want to highlight that. And then I don't want to take it away, but I attended Coffee with the Cop on the 17th, and today we selected the coloring contest winners and staff members. I set them up and they voted, and so I notified the winners of the tree lighting duties for Christmas Under the Clock because that is coming up really fast. I'll go ahead and cover planning and zoning. We met on November 19th and we approved the final plat for Marin Reserve that you'll see this evening on your later on in the agenda. So we also have our semi-quincentennial event planning on Tuesday, December 2nd at 2:15 at the library. So that is coming up very quickly. So with that, I will turn it over to Ms. Lupton, our village administrator.
Thank you, Mayor. Holiday lights recycling has begun today. You can drop off your broken lights here at the admin building for recycling. There are a lot of Christmas events coming up. Santa will be at the depot December 3rd and 17th, so it's all decorated for Christmas. You can bring your children. I think it's from 5 to 7. Holiday Hop and Christmas Under the Clock are coming up on December 6th. And then I do want to thank everybody for their comments that's been submitted regarding the Bicentennial Park concept. The concept was meant to start a conversation, and I think it did so. So we've got a lot of good feedback. ODOT and the engineer are taking all of that, and they can be submitted until December 10th when ODOT will be responding, and then the engineer will be working on the next type of concept for Bicentennial Park. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lupton. Ms. Sana, our finance director. Thank you. Chief McKee.
Yes, thanks, Mayor. Just as you indicated, our coffee with the cop went very well. It was great talking to a lot of new people I didn't know. And then also our Protect Your House of Worship training that we had here in Council's Chamber was completely packed and went very well. I'd just like to give a shout out to Officer Gary Segrest. He ended up doing the training by himself. His Detective Revon became a new grandfather that night, or had a new grandbaby. He's already a grandfather. So again, I'd like to thank Officer Segrest for handling that. He did a great job. We had a lot of great feedback with that. And then I want to thank Lieutenant Asquith. He went out to the Jonathan Norris School today and the I Think program that they do with the health department. That's all I have at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Mr. Terry, Council President.
So we will talk about the work session and the December meeting discussion, so I'll skip
See that.
that conversation. However, everyone would have received the administration review document. The dates are right, but it won't be a work session. Most likely it'll be for the 12/8 meeting. So if you guys can fill that out and give it back to me by the 5th, I'll give Ms. Lupton a copy of everyone's, but I'll try to average and consolidate as we get through the year. And I will go ahead and hit Parks and Rec, if that's okay with you. We did not have our meeting in November. There was nothing to discuss. However, we do have a meeting scheduled for 12/9 at 6:30, and I'm assuming it's in here. Okay, yeah, all right. We're shaking our heads, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Terry. And then Mr. Lafayette, any update from our law director?
No report tonight.
No news is good news. Okay. Economic Development Committee, Ms. Ferguson.
Yes, the committee met on November 18th. They used that meeting to meet the new members who will be formally appointed tonight. The next meeting will be January 20th, and we will use that as a goal-setting time and plan for 2026.
Thank you for the
Thank you.
update. And I covered, excuse me, Board of Zoning Appeals, Mr. Harriman.
Yes, I missed the November meeting, but there was one item on the agenda. It was actually the Plain City putting in getting a variance for a basically pole barn or back where the maintenance building is, adding on to that one. So that was all that was done. That one passed, and then I think we'll have one item on our agenda for December. I forget what the date is. Mr. Hutchison, I'm kind of looking at you if you remember the date. December. The second Tuesday, whatever that would be.
So it'll be the 9th.
9th.
Same. Sorry, I'm looking at you for Parks, but that's the same.
We have multiple
Okay.
meetings during Parks and Rec.
Okay.
That's why I said we're probably over there, but it happens all the time.
Thank you, Mr. Harriman. And then Mr. Lewis is not here for personnel and finance, but we have the second reading of the budget this evening. Fire Board, Mr. Sins.
Unfortunately, I was unable to attend this last month's meeting, and our next month's meeting is coming.
Thank you, Mr. Sins. Plain City Area Development Corporation, Mr. Udaly.
We had a meeting on November 12th, read through some new elements that we have in our charter, I guess it is, you want to put it, and our next meeting will be in 2026.
Thank you for that update. And then we have PCBA, County Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Dryer.
Well, thank you all for attending the PCBA first annual Apple Fire Scholarship. It was a great event. As such, there's no regular meeting in November, and there's also no meeting in December. So PCBA will begin meeting again in January 2026. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Dryer. At the County Chamber, we have a meeting coming up on December 2nd, and they have a big fundraiser. I probably did not do a very good job as a chamber board member last year, but of getting the word out. But they have, it's called Duck the Halls, and you can buy a card, and in January they start putting in a giant pool of rubber ducks with numbers on it. They will pull a duck every day, and if your number is on a card that you have, you can earn money or different businesses that they get to donate. I'm trying to remember if it's $10 a card, but I do have those that I am assisting the chamber with raising funds. So if you'd like a Duck the Hall card, you can contact me. And they're going through some different staffing changes in the chamber, but looking forward to 2026. And then we meet December 2nd for the semi-quincentennial event planning. And with that, we'll move into our discussion items. The first one is Division of Liquor Control Notice to Legislative Authority regarding renewals of retail liquor permits. Mr. Dryer, you can give us the update.
So, at the council packet, it's out on the and the division of control gives the opportunity to object to any number of liquor permits, all of them being operational. Staff included a list of the liquor permits and the limits that are available. This serves as an opportunity to, if desired, object to any of those. There are certain legal procedures that Mr. Lafayette and council have to do in a resolution. From a statement, law or statement of legal grounds for said objection. If no objection is made, that can be done via a minutes or a motion. But this would be a council opportunity. If there's a problem with a certain liquor permit location or continuous in place, this would be the opportunity to object to that renewal. For historical context, last year council did not object to the renewal of any of those.
Does anyone have any objections?
No?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Dryer. Our next discussion topic is mobile vendor registration fee. Mr. Hutchison.
Good evening, everyone. So as you remember, earlier in the year, we passed the ordinance requiring registration of mobile food vendor or any type of mobile vendor. And we did not set a fee for that to start at the beginning of this or coming 2026. So we just need to set a fee for that. So I did provide with you some comparisons of surrounding communities. Kind of went outside the central Ohio a little bit down toward Dayton, picked up a couple of those. There are a lot of municipalities that have those. This was just really just some top ones I pulled off there, but all the prices ranged, all the fees ranged generally from $50 to $200. The average, Ohio average is $122 per year. I think when we set when the original ordinance that we passed earlier in the year, it was originally $250. When we removed that, when we did the revision, so this just kind of gives you a comparison. My personal suggestion would be $100. Right now, we charge permanent businesses for new occupancies $50. Those businesses do pay income tax and everything else, so I feel $100 is reasonable for a one-year annual registration fee, but that's up to you.
fine with me. I wouldn't do a per location.
No. Yeah, it's just a registration. We still, per our ordinance, they have to notify us where they're going to be, just so we make sure they're in the right spot. But no, that's just a one-time registration.
That's $100.
I think they'd be a bookkeeping nightmare if you did per
Yeah,
location.
plus.
And then try to enforce that.
Move around. 100.
Yeah.
I'm fine with 100.
So, do they get a sticker?
They get a certificate. I mean, we don't require postings of those, like we see building occupancies, I have to post them through the building department. We don't even do that for our zoning certificates. This year we did have a couple that weren't aware of the registration, so we had to kind of reach out to them. And it's after the fact we learned that they have been there. We had to reach out to them to register. But we actually did not have any issues this year with the new registration. People were contacting us. We got them registered. We did let them all know that next year, beware, there's likely going to be a registration fee. We got some feedback, just the same that we heard during the creation of that ordinance. But other than that, not looking for any speed bumps or anything for that. So.
Everybody feels comfortable with the dollars?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
So is that, Justin, do we actually have to do anything to set that?
I will look into it again. I've worked on those cases, but there may need to be a ordinance change. Otherwise, that would most likely just go.
We didn't codify our fee schedule.
Right.
Okay.
We have to do anything with waiving or emergency.
If you want it, you would want it in place by 2026, right?
Yeah, it's just updating our fee that's not in order. So.
So, staff will go through the rest of their second reading on December 8th meeting. There wouldn't be an emergency since it's a resolution.
Perfect, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hutchinson. Economic Development Update, Mr. Sanford.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Appreciate the opportunity to share an update. You've probably been getting questions and some concerns lately about the status of healthcare services in Plain City. I just wanted to give a quick update on where staff is leading efforts right now. So we are aware that Memorial Health, which is a great entity, is preparing to open their new Memorial Jerome Medical Center here up in Jerome Township. With that, obviously, comes some changing of local services that we understand are confirmed now for the village, as far as relocation of some of their facilities and other services out of Plain City to the Jerome location. From a staff perspective, obviously, this is concerning to us, especially when we look at the loss of the pharmacy last year. I believe that was in February of 24. One of the things that we're really, I guess, looking at is with a lot of population growth, we know that there's opportunity for more healthcare services to eventually come to Plain City. But the concern is more in the short term. What happens between now and year 3 or year 5, where we have this a little bit of a glut in services. We're monitoring for potentially Plain City becoming a little bit of a medical desert, which, if you're familiar with like a food desert, basically it's the same premise where you don't have certain services in your community. I am personally concerned that Plain City is nearing this point of us having very limited access to essential health care services right here in the village, especially pharmacy, primary care, specialty care, things like that, even urgent care. We have facilities around Plain City. We have a lot of facilities around Plain City, but we don't have very much now, or will very soon not have a lot here in Plain City. We've done a quick, just a very brief report, like a study on where major medical facilities are comparatively to Plain City. And what we have found is that basically a lot of the facilities are located about 11.5 miles from Plain City. That would be Main and Jefferson Avenue. So it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you actually add in travel time, or if you have residents that have mobility issues or transportation issues, that adds to the issues. Plus, we are living in an increased congested environment out there, so the drive time is approaching 20 minutes just for an urgent care or some primary services out there. The good news in all this, too, though, is we do have multiple commercial planned in Plain City here within the next 2 years or so, probably sooner than that. And we have already begun actively reaching out to some healthcare providers to hopefully attract them to the village. I'm not going to promise anything, but I'm encouraged by where we're headed with this. And I also want to stay, publicly, that we've had a really good relationship with Memorial Health in the past. So we're not angry or upset at them for making their business decisions, nor do we necessarily expect that they'll just, decide to return to Plain City. However, that being said, I do think it's worth having a letter or some kind of formal response back to Memorial Health indicating our general concerns from a community perspective and asking them to at least consider in the future, in the near future, that perhaps they would return service to Plain City. I think that's an expectation that we would all like to see out there. And frankly, if not, there are other healthcare providers, as we all know, outside of Plain City. So there was a letter that was circulated to you guys earlier this afternoon. I believe it's in your packets that kind of touches on that. And that would also, I believe, be copied to the commissioners, as Memorial Health is a publicly owned county hospital. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention, that there are some concerns out there. We're hearing it a little bit too from our residents, the growing issues. But we are working on it, and if you guys have any questions or concerns, please direct it to my attention. I'll be happy to answer your questions, and we can go from there.
Thank you, Mr. Stanford. I echo the sentiments of it. It is so wonderful to have the facilities right here and know that if you are not feeling well yourself or children, you can get there and usually get a same-day appointment. That's been such a luxury, and to have that taken from us so quickly. I know you want to say we have had a great relationship with Memorial Health, but it really disappoints me that they are focusing on the new areas of growth and not long-time service. So it will definitely be a detriment to our community.
Yeah, and just so you know, for you guys, Mayor Carney and I both have already signed it, so if you guys have any questions or anything afterwards, let us know, but we figured everyone's gonna be in support, so we've actually already signed it. But if you have any questions or want to restrict your name or anything, let me know.
Have we reached out to other people, other groups besides Memorial Health that maybe take that position that they are vacating?
Great question. So we have, through our brokers, real estate developers that we've been working with on these commercial developments, we've been putting some feelers out there.
That's great. I think it's important for our aging population to be just few minutes from their home.
Yes.
Being traffic will be much worse.
Well, yes, and 42 it'll be close, you can't access that area, so it's really shutting us off here.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised with as much growth that they was coming here. You figured like trying to invest into the community instead of invest in the community, because Mary Reserve, the growth that's going there and all the other stuff. It's not like the population's leaving. You figure they'd want to kind of be here to establish and grow with everything.
And you keep your roots here.
Yeah.
Don't you think, but.
This opens the door.
That's why I said, if we, are we reaching out to, I know a shoe or somebody else out there, branch that would fill that spot.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Stanford. Pastime Park facility rental rates. Ms. Granger and Ms. Lofton.
Yes, thank you. For the facility rental rates, we have, everything except the full park rental was updated in the last 12 months. The full park areas are not rented very often, but we have determined this year that those rates need refreshed. So that is what is on the proposed tonight, both changing the areas that you can rent, and then establishing an updated rental schedule. And I want to make sure it's noted that this is for open to the public events. If you want to rent the park for a perimeter ticketed event, you'll have to contact us separately and negotiate a contract and talk about utilities and revenue sharing and all of that. So this is only for events where you rent the park and for something that's open to the public. Ms. Granger, I don't know if you want to add anything to that part.
No, I think you pretty much covered it, that if we do have folks that are doing anything where we do have to have closed borders, we will make sure that we have a special contract in place, so that's very different.
On the Madison Meadows shelter, I know we have I know it has the restrooms. But I would like to see that our residents might be able to rent that without a cost.
The costs really cover the time it
Just
takes
clean
to
it, clean it. Yeah.
and maintain it for the rentals.
Understand.
To your point, Mayor, I think that's when we first established the Madison Meadows shelter, the fact that it does have the restrooms.
Restroom.
We have a private event there with a playground there, I think that kind of lent its sort. That's typically what other municipalities do. Rentals are based on kind of the equipment or the, whatever facilities you have there at the location, so it's kind of where we came.
Covers that. Mm-hmm.
Do we charge people of public, do we charge organizations when they have meetings? There?
If they are, like if the library wants to have a meeting, this year we haven't been charging kind of one-off for public organizations. If it's a private person, then yes, they have to pay.
I totally support not charging the library. I just wonder if you need to codify who you charge and who you don't charge for that stuff. Just so you're not making decisions. I think the library makes sense. I think, the school makes sense. I think any of our boards make sense. But just so you don't end up in a why are you charging them and not me situation.
The depot, we've been a little flexible this year, trying to just get
Sure.
people to see it,
Sure.
use it, but definitely something in the future.
But I agree with Mr. Terry on, I like the I like our historical society.
Yeah, they
use
shouldn't
it
pay. Yeah,
free of
yeah.
charge.
Yeah.
I know it gets a little tricky a little bit on the youth organization side because, I get
A
it.
lot of-
You-
Yeah, I would either just add you can waive at your discretion comment and then allow you to make the decision, or, codify who you're going to.
Like civic organizations and
Yeah, we have a 501c3 may receive 1 weekday rental at the village administrator's discretion, and how to do that.
Just putting it out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of files.
Yeah.
Has there been any, and I'm just looking just at the public depot, half day, like, weekends, or is that?
Yeah, again, it's just the turnaround. We don't have a staff member to make sure it's clean. If you rent it from 8 to noon and then noon to 4 or something, we don't want that second person to feel like they didn't get the value or it's left in a mess or something. So we haven't been able to quite turn that around yet.
Okay.
And then on renting, for the park portion, not so much the facility, but how you can rent out pastime park. Is there a way that we can connect it to, you have to be connected to an organization in the community? I'll pick on Scene Threshers, they have a PO box here in the village. But who's to say an entity from Columbus doesn't come out and say, well, we can rent this park because it's cheaper than renting one in Columbus for an event or something.
I think that's where you get into if they want it to be a closed event. So for instance, we have car shows that come here.
Sure, yeah, I
So
don't want to take.
public, anybody can come, they're in and out one day, so we do a partial park rental for them. I think when we get into a different type of car show that wants to have closed gates, charge admission, are you saying you want village residents to have a less rate perhaps?
No, I want to say so remember we had this festival that came in a few years ago and just not many people knew much about it. And it's it wasn't put on by somebody here in the village. It really didn't have, it was an organization that was out in Columbus. It just, I don't know.
I don't know. Is there any language we can put around at our discretion renting the whole park?
There's probably a way to do it, we just make sure we're appropriate, following the law. I mean, unfettered discretion is always a problem, when it's Republican.
Yeah.
So,
That's,
there's probably some way to do it, but we're gonna have to have some discussion on it.
It'd probably be first in the rates, making it not so, that was our first thought of why wouldn't you just rent the park every week, it costs $100.
Right.
So that's started the conversation of raising the rates, but I don't know what that number looks like for certain organizations.
I think Mayor Carney's concern is valid in so much that like, why wait until there's a problem and then have to go back on it? Is there a way to limit it? I can't really think of who would be renting the park though. Does this happen often?
No, it hasn't.
but it's like,
Do we almost just say it's by application only? Like,
but then I think that would open us up to more liability and like
sure.
to pick winners and losers of who
Sure,
rents the
sure,
park,
sure,
and it's just, yeah, I think that's the conversation, is like, I think there's other municipalities that there has to be some sort of policy out there, but I'm just thinking of something that
it's an interesting thing.
Yes.
Because if something came that we wouldn't be able to do anything, but
that's what I'm
I
saying,
guess
like
you could, I
ahead
guess
of
you could say
time.
no, you just can't do it.
I think that's where we would get into trouble of.
Well, I think if we said no to
I don't wanna
everyone.
say-
If you say no to everyone,
you're
yeah,
fine.
if you say no to everybody, you're fine.
Say no to everyone. If it doesn't happen.
I mean, if people aren't renting the entire park now,
We have things like a car show, like the Buckeye Rod Builders.
That's a partial.
And that's,
We've got two every year that come every year. I mean, they've been here for a while.
Again, but they only rent part of the park,
mhm.
and it's not closed gates, they're not charging admission.
Or even part, I mean, I guess like some could rent like part of the park, and it's just like, I think we can do some.
If you guys are comfortable with it, I'm comfortable. I mean,
We can.
till it's a problem, yes, we could avoid it.
With other municipalities and see if there are other, keep looking at Michael, and see if they're, what they
Other-
have in place.
what they have in place.
We can consider that, but as for now, it hasn't been a huge issue, but we can look into it.
Yes,
Sure.
okay, that's all I,
We'll have to follow the rules and regulations that with the park anyway, so if there's something that they're violating, it's that, say shut it down, but, if it's noise or anything that's in the park that's against the rules, I don't know.
any, do the rates
yeah, the rates look, set it up.
on this portion, okay?
On the second, rate discussion was for the campground rates, it was requested that we look at, raising some of those rates, and you have those in front of you for first consideration. And in the packet was the explanation of what went behind all of that with researching the area.
I like the no proposed changes for residents. I guess I envisioned a little more on the general public nightly rates, a little more separation, but, that's not a hill I'm. But I would have expected some more deviation between like the 30 and 35, but like 30 and 40 or something like that, but.
I mean, if I recall, when the pricing, like if you can go down to Ohio Expo Center and camp, that's like $50.
It's really hard when we start to get into this because, we looked at 13 other campgrounds, private and other, state campgrounds, for instance. And we want to stay right in that mix. Obviously, council's concern was that we were less expensive. So we want to make sure that we stay, right in that mix. The Ohio State Campground, most of the people, there's a lot of people who will not camp there because of its location, to be honest.
Sure.
It's, and then you have to look at also what makes the analysis hard is, for instance, Alden Campground. It's right there on West Broad, so it's a parking lot. But it's high demand just because of its proximity to Columbus. So there's so many factors. State campgrounds are more attractive because they have, you know, there's water sports, there's lakes, there's all sorts of things to do there. It's just a different, it's hard to take one campground and just compare us directly to others. That's the challenge. But what we try to do, and we looked at all the rates and put it in a bag and shook it, is we want to stay right there, right in the mix with everybody. We don't want to be much cheaper. We want to be right there in the mix competitively. So that's why we got current rates, and we asked campgrounds what they were going to be charging for next year, and that's what we looked at. So.
And typically for, like, I know you're talking about the Expo Center and the fairgrounds, a lot of those are people coming in for events that are like vendors at the event or something.
Right.
So they're kind of paying a premium even though it's a parking lot campground, because they're also there to make money at the event. So it's kind of, you know, that's a different situation that we don't have here technically, so.
And we do want to reinforce that residents always get a discount. Residents and seniors and military always get a discount at our campground.
Oh, yes, yes. What thoughts?
I mean, find where it is. Yeah. It's a start. See, where, like you said, evaluate where it is with the changes for.
We're making significant changes already, so maybe we'll, if it's what staff suggests, just go with it, see how revenue comes in, see how capacity comes in. Maybe not make wholesale changes right now.
Yeah, that's what I would say. I mean, go this year, we're making major changes anyway on cutting back how long you can stay there. Let's see what this brings in. Again, the revenue's going to be very much different next year than what it is this year, and we can see what it is. Going back to the rentals, Area B and Area A both taking the youth building. So if somebody rents one on the same day, A, and somebody else rents it on B, who gets the youth building?
We would only do one.
Okay, so you would speculate, you got first, you would get that. Correct. I just want to make sure that we have that covered, because.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That,
Sit down the middle.
Some of the Brady Bunch, you put a save in the middle.
Okay.
you get half the fireplace.
No one side gets the fireplace, because if you go right down the middle. Any other questions, comments?
I just have, this is more of a general question, like with the fee schedule. Just going visiting this, I know only 2 years on council, or just hating that. You know, how often is it like revisited? Just more or less keeping up, like
Yearly.
chemicals go up, just the general inflation of stuff. The last couple of years, we've done it at the end of every year for one reason or another. Yeah, that's the goal, especially as new amenities come online. Yeah. Look at all of them again. Yeah, because I like, just do little bits at a time every year, and it's been
I think
5 years. and you hit
I think the generic goal of all of these rates, if I remember correctly, is to get them to a place where the resident, non-resident, all that stuff is kind of like set, and then you just say, okay, $1 a year or $2, like you just kind of set a mechanism after that, but we're still trying to find the exact right balance on a lot of these things. Like, say the pool's the exact same way, right?
Yeah.
Like, it would be great if we didn't talk about it every year, but still at capacity, so you gotta like talk about it, find a solution.
And that's kind of the question, just going, getting to that spot where it's like, okay, we can just do a cost of living adjustment.
I mean, the exact thing happened last year with the pool, right? We raised the non-resident rate and kept the resident, thinking, okay, maybe that'll be a big hurt to revenue and help capacity. It didn't. We had more revenue and the capacity was the same. So.
Any other questions on rates? Okay, so you have to go with that. Okay, perfect. Next topic, December meetings. So Ms. Lupton had said there really wasn't.
Staff doesn't have any proposed topics for the December work session. We have a lot of zoning things like the design standards, engineering standards. Those will be coming more in January. So I wanted to put it out there, see if anybody else had anything or.
So the biggest problem. So I'm totally fine with canceling the work session. The biggest problem is really the 22nd is going to become a problem. So do we need to have that meeting for sure?
No.
Okay, so you're suggesting just the 8th.
Yes, if we cancel the work session, it would be just the 8th.
I'm comfortable with that. But I would recommend is if there's anything that we need to do, could we try to stick it in like the 15th So that, I just assume a lot of people are gonna be out of town by the 22nd. I mean,
Oh,
or,
yeah.
or they're gonna have family in town, they're not gonna wanna be here, staff or council. So, I'm cool with just the 8th though, if we can get away with it.
Yeah, we don't have anything pending.
Yeah.
I mean, if nothing needs to be read, you know, a
Yeah.
certain amount.
We did
Get it
say
passed before the end of the
Carrie
year.
has to come to every meeting though, Carrie.
I mean, she's counting down, like,
Yeah, she was at 3 last, now she's down to 1. I think she should have to attend all. You have to go to every board meeting in December.
The only thing I can think of, Mr. Dryer, is if there's any annexations where a clock starts coming up.
Correct. That would be detailed with the same services of the 23rd.
So with notices and everything, does it make the most sense to cancel the work session, keep the 8th, and go ahead and schedule the 15th,
Just in case.
and then cancel the 15th later? Like, I'm just saying, like, because then you kind of like at least have it there if you need it.
Absolutely. So notices to be sent out for meetings going on for 48 hours in advance. So if need be, notices can be sent out after like on 12/9, December 9th, after the December 8th meeting, if it was going to be necessary.
We can know on the 8th, that's fine. We just keep it in our back pocket and just have it for now.
but I was gonna say maybe like Wednesday, 17th, if we just bump the discussion back 2 weeks. And just that way, then
I won't be here for that.
We have planning and zoning on the 17th.
All right, why don't we do this? Why don't we just cancel work session? Keep the 8th, plan on canceling the 22nd, don't cancel it yet, and then on the 8th, we can reassess. We can either have it on the 15th, or we can not have it on the 15th or the 22nd.
That works. Okay. All right. We don't have a public hearing this evening. We have a series of motions to appoint people to our boards and commissions. So the first one is I would accept a motion to appoint Christopher Thompson to serve on the Economic Development Committee with a term beginning January 1st, 2026 and expiring December 31st, 2028. Is there
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
motion passes 5 yeas, 0 nays. I would accept the motion to appoint Brian Adams to serve on the Economic Development Committee with a term beginning January 1st, 2026 and expiring December 31st, 2028.
Second.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion passes 5 yeas, 0 nays. And I would accept the motion to appoint Jason Sanford to serve as the mayor's representative on the Union County CIC Board of Trustees with a term beginning January 1st, 2026 and expiring December 31st, 2027.
So moved. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Motion passes 5 yeas to 0 nays. Motion to approve PZ-25-6, final plat for Marin Reserve Sub Area C, Phase 3. I would accept a motion to approve. So.
Second.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Motion passes 5 yeas to 0 nays. Motion to approve PZ-25-7, final plat for Marin Reserve Sub Area C, Phase 4.
So moved.
Second.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Motion passes 5 yeas to 0 nays. Motion to release the performance bond and accept the maintenance bond for the Darby Station Development Phase 3, Part 2. Would accept the motion to release the performance bond.
So. Second. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion passes 5 yeas to 0 nays. And I would accept the motion to release the performance bond and accept the maintenance bond for Darby Station Phase 3, Part 3.
So moved.
Yes.
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 Motion passes 5 yeas to 0 nays. Moving into unfinished business, second reading ordinance 43-2025, approving final appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures for the Village of Plain City through December 31st, 2026. I would accept the motion to approve ordinance 43-2025.
Motion to approve ordinance 43, 2025. Second.
Yes.
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 Ordinance 43-2025 is approved, 5 yeas, 0 nays. Second reading ordinance 44-2025, approving current replacement pages to the Plain City Codified Ordinances. I would accept a motion to approve ordinance 44-2025.
44-2025.
Second.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Ordinance 44-2025 is approved, 5 yeas, 0 nays. Second reading resolution 53-2025, authorizing the sale of village property. I'd accept a motion to approve resolution 53-2025.
Motion 53-2025.
Second.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Resolution 53-2025 is approved, 5 yeas, 0 nays. Moving to new business, first reading ordinance 45-2025, accepting the annexation petition of 62.197 acres from Darby Township, Madison County, Ohio, to the Village of Plain City, Ohio, Commerce Huff Road. First reading ordinance 46-2025, accepting the annexation petition of 81.423 acres from Darby Township, Madison County, Ohio, bless you, to the Village of Plain City, Ohio, Converse Huff Road. First reading ordinance 47-2025, approving a supplemental appropriation of funds amendments to the Village of Plain City 2025 budget, waiving a second reading.
Motion to waive the second reading ordinance 47-2025.
Second.
Yes.
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 The second-
Motion to approve ordinance 47-2025.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Ordinance 47-2025 is approved, 5 yeas to 0 nays. First reading resolution 54-2025, amending the rates and fees for the Pastime Park Campground. First reading resolution 55-2025, amending the Pastime Park Campground policy. First reading resolution 56-2025, amending the rental rates for facilities owned by the Village of Plain City. First reading resolution 57-2025, amending the wage scale of the employees of the Village of Plain City. And this concludes the public portion of tonight's meeting. We will be moving into executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, section 121.22G2, to consider the purchase of property for public purposes. There will be no further business after the executive session. We'll be entering executive session upon a motion, so I would accept the motion.
Motion to enter executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, section 121.22G2, to consider the purchase of property for public purposes.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Motion passes, and we're entering here at 7:29, depending on which clock